Hello, I'm Pam Carruthers of HealingStars.com. This is a chart. It's the full moon, 12th of December 2019, set for London, 5:12 in the morning. A lot has been said about the significance of the 12th day of the 12th month. It is, however, the last full moon of the year. The next lunation will be an eclipse on December 26th, just so you know. But anyhow, here we are. I use whole signs as houses to give you a focus. However, today's focus in the UK is, of course, on the general election. We have a very strong Mars energy here. Notice this. Mars in Scorpio, and this is the first house of the chart. Mars likes the sign of Scorpio. It's happy there. And notice, first of all, a very good positive grand trine in the emotional water signs. Mars is exactly trining Neptune in Pisces, the idealism, the healing quality, and up there to the North Node to do with destiny. That's in Cancer. Also, Mars is making a very good is in a good relationship, shall we say, with Saturn, Venus, Pluto. All of that is down here. Now, what is very important is that Jupiter is now in the sign of Capricorn for the next approximately 12 months. Jupiter is not known to be good in that sign. However, I have it in that sign, so I know I can talk from that place of authority. Saturn's signs are to do with step by step, steady progress. So Jupiter, unlike its last year in Sagittarius, where it belonged, is now having to face reality. But there's nothing wrong in reality. Notice that we have the South Node, Saturn, Venus, Pluto, this stellium of planets now in Capricorn. Capricorn is a wise, and it's a goat, it's a mountain goat that climbs to the top of the mountain. It's ambitious. And if you are a Capricorn, you'll be glad to know it's really good to have Jupiter going through your sign for the next year. But this is a full moon. So the sun, here it is, in Sagittarius, opposite the moon in Gemini. Gemini, the moon in Gemini, is curious. It wants details. That's what Gemini is about. It asks a lot of questions. However, the sun in Sagittarius is ruled by this Jupiter, practical, realistic Jupiter, and the moon is ruled by Mercury. Here's Mercury in Sagittarius. Now, Mercury isn't happy in Sagittarius. Mercury likes the sign of Gemini or Virgo. It likes to ask questions. But here, it's in the opposite sign to where it belongs, literally. So it's big picture stuff. So we have the conundrum here. We have a full moon. The moon is full, and that's the public, people going out, I know, today to vote. Queues of people in London, I've noticed. And also the young people. Now, that's interesting because young people, students, classically would be Gemini. So they are, at this time, a very important factor in this election. Now, Mercury is in a good relationship. We'll see a little blue line across to Chiron in Aries. And so that promises healing, and healing on a personal level. And Chiron is just about to move forward. It's got an S next to it. That means it's stationary, about to move direct. I am totally confused at this time by what to share with you, simply because it's such a complex pattern. Jupiter in Capricorn, you could say, is the fall to Earth, but that's also very grounded. And I like, as I said, I have Jupiter in Capricorn myself. So it takes time to bring faith and hope, and time to gather wisdom. The safety net, it's been described by that in a wonderful astrologer in the Mountain Astrologer. And she says the safety net, which is an interesting phrase, to say the least, is we have Jupiter, here it is in Capricorn, making a very, very tight trine to Uranus. And both planets are very much about freedom. And this Jupiter trine to Uranus is quite rare, okay, to notice that. So there could be unexpected Uranus surprises at the end of this day and at the end of our election in the UK. Notice the positives here. Mars is good and strong. That's very, very good. Saturn, of course, is 2.5 years. It's nothing new in the sign of Capricorn, its own sign. And Venus is also there as well. Power is important. Venus, Pluto. It brings to mind the whole story of Persephone going into the underworld, becoming the Queen of Souls. So looking at this chart, my thoughts are, can wisdom prevail? And that is, to me, what Saturn truly is all about. In Vedic astrology, Saturn is the planet to do with being of service to others. And Saturn in the Vedas is also helps the poor, the underprivileged, the homeless. And that, to me, is the heart, Venus, of this full moon. To step aside from personal problems and prejudices, etc., all of that, and just look at the big picture. So my thoughts are, of course, for the result that I want at the end of today, I vote Labour. That is my political alliance, because I believe in fairness and I believe in helping the underprivileged, the weak, the poor. So on that note, happy full moon, and thank you for watching. Pam Carruthers of HealingStars.com.